Last time, we made our way back to Conch Charters as our guests were flying home the next morning. Sean and Adrian packed up and we said our goodbyes. Adrian? And just like that, our guests were gone. The time goes by so fast when we are on the boat having fun. Even when we are working on the boat, the days evaporate so fast. Shortly after our guests departed, Georgia and I packed up ourselves and the boat, leaving a few extra provisions for the crew at Conch Charters. One last look at the boat. The next morning, we started the process of traveling home.
Have any questions?
Goodbye to Cabo.
Thank you for paying attention. Please relax and enjoy.
And now, we are back on Cabo for another adventure in the British Virgin Islands. We are in California and we make our way back to Cabo in the BVI. We went to the airport a bit early for our red-eye flight. 1 to have dinner and 2 to start our holiday a little earlier. We checked in and our luggage was exactly 50 pounds for one bag and 48 for the other. Way to go. We go through security, have dinner, and make our way to our flight. We were on one plane, ended up having to get off, and we had to reload on another plane.
There was a little bit of a fuel issue. It would have taken about an hour to fix, so this is going to be the easiest.
It's our second time down the jetway, as this is plane number 2. In Charlotte, Georgia went off to get some coffee as I waited and watched the people travel to and fro. It is time for our daytime flight to St. Thomas.
Welcome to American Airlines.
As you may know, traveling from the west coast of the United States to the BVI is a red-eye, followed by a daytime flight from a city on the east coast to St. Thomas. Then a cab ride to the ferry dock, ferry ride to Road Town Tortola, clearing through customs and immigration, then a short cab ride to the marina where the boat resides. In St. Thomas, it was quite festive at the airport, carnival and rum being served.
Are they both black cherry?
Virgin Islands. On the St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands.
Thank you.
Waiting for our luggage is always stressful for some reason. Maybe it is because we have experienced lost luggage too many times. When the luggage arrives, it's always a big relief.
Oh, I think we can get it. Thank you for asking.
And we're off to catch a cab.
Anyone need taxi service? Me one of those, sir. Which one? Maybe on the same car.
We have our luggage and are ready to get to the ferry. And the organization at the cab station was less than ideal this time. Usually it's super quick, but today there was some confusion as to who was going in what cab to where. We made it to the ferry terminal in St. Thomas and our ferry is arriving. A float plane is landing. The ferry is slowly making its approach to the dock and is making its way back to the dock. The ferry has moved forward after disembarking the previous set of passengers, and we are waiting for our time to board. There is some weather coming in, and there is some uncertainty as to how strong the storm is going to be, and as such, preparations are being made assuming the worst. Fortunately, the storm passed north of the Virgin Islands. The ferry ride was a bit rougher than normal due to the incoming storm, but other than a few waves, it was uneventful. The steps to the coach roof are looking pretty rough. The non-skid that is on the wood doesn't stick all that well, but it does cover the black rubber non-skid stripes that turned into tar, which got tracked all around the boat by accident off the bottoms of our feet. Regardless, it is time to replace these steps. When we were at home, I made some new ones, epoxy coated, varnished, and added the 3M non-skid gray tape. I think the new steps look a whole lot better. What do you think? Looks like a little rain is on its way. While these old steps have lived beyond their useful life on Cabo, we donated the wood to the carpenter at Conch Charters. One never knows how or what a piece of lumber can be used for. New projects, a flat surface to clamp one item to another, and so on. We were asked if we wanted to have the bar installed. As you can see, it looks good and makes opening and closing the door quite easy. The rollers have been rebuilt. We have this door handle installed, which is super easy to use. Really a nice improvement. The teak deck was falling apart, and Dennis rebuilt it, adding stainless steel rods to hold it all together. He did an awesome job, and it looks brand new. The starboard aft stateroom has been prepared for our guests when they arrive. As this is a 230-volt boat, we provide a hairdryer and a flat iron for our guests. We also include a cotton floor mat. This helps remove any dust, dirt, or sand from one's feet before climbing into bed. Of course, as we are just back on the boat, we need to do a provisioning run, so we are off to the Right Way Market. As we do, we drive through downtown, road town. You might note that this is the end of the rainy season, and everything is really green and beaming with life. It is great to see these desert islands bloom. We have arrived at the market. It's such a different experience going to the market via a cab versus driving our own vehicle. Here we are at the Right Way grocery store, where Georgia Brewer's in her unnatural habitat shopping for groceries.
Instead of wine.
Okay, so we walk the store and find stuff for breakfast, lunch, and an occasional dinner on board. We tend to go ashore for dinner when the weather and location permits. We are checking out and will taxi back to the boat. We were unable to get a hold of the taxi company, so this gentleman took us back to the boat, which was terrific. Georgia and I are getting the boat ready so we can go cruising around the BVI, and as such we are reinstalling the enclosure panels. We label each panel when we take them down, but it is still a bit of a perplexing puzzle as to where they all go. To complicate matters, there are several rows of zippers on the top helm enclosure, which confuses matters until we figure it all out again. We do manage to get all the panels installed, but it takes us a little time. Today we have some more boat chores to do, some of which unfold well and others not so much. The volume of work that we have performed getting the boat ready was exhausting, and given that we are both jet-lagged, it has not been an enjoyable experience. Our freezer is at the right temperature, but nothing is freezing. Turns out that the condenser fan failed. So I pulled out the freezer, got access to the fan, and replaced it. The new fan is running great, and we will have ice soon. New condenser fan, I'm going to shove it in the hole there and reinstall it, and hopefully that'll take care of our freezing problem and freeze our food. We have the new B&G radar that replaced the defective one. Georgia hoists me up the mast, and she is getting quite good at this job. She hasn't dropped me yet. The reinstall on this is super easy. Gather all the parts, which include the radar and 4 cap screws. Reinstallation includes going up the mast, connecting the communication cable, and mounting the radar.
What's the matter?
I get the radar dome in place and look down for the communication cable and discover that it has fallen back into the mast. Geez, my fault. This simple job is now turning into an ordeal. I made several unsuccessful attempts to retrieve the cable, but no luck, so I took the radar down until I can figure out how to find and retrieve the communication cable. The radar reinstallation was only the first of too many frustrations in getting the boat ready this time, none of which were filmed, but by the end of the second day, it was time to get off the dock or pack up the bags and go home. So the next morning, we untied the lines and cast off. Getting off the dock is always the right solution. Boat projects can be infinite, and one can spend a lifetime doing this or that and never get to the point of casting off and going sailing. Once the boat is off the dock, even with a list of things that require attention, the motion of the boat through the water and the thought of the next destination with adventures on the horizon shift everything. And that is why we are boaters in the first place. There are very few experiences in life that have the sense of freedom and thirst for adventure that boating provides. With that being said, consider this your personal invitation to find a boat and go boating. The size and kind of boat make no difference, as the fun factor is the same.
We're doing 2.7 knots on our way to Norman Island under our brand new Genoa from Doyle Sails. Take a look.
We are on our way to Norman Island. These are brand new sails. Unfortunately, the UV cover on the Genoa and the sail bag are not the color that we ordered, but Doyle made it right and replaced the sail bag and replaced the UV cover on the Genoa. But they're nice and white, crisp and shiny.
Well, here we are, 4 knots of wind. We're doing a knot and a half through the water. But we spent 2 days at the dock working on the boat, getting things ready, and now we're on our way to Norman Island. And we got our brand new Genoa. I'm exhausted. 12 and 13 hour days at this age is not a good strategy for relaxation and enjoyment, but you know, that's part of being a boat owner. So this morning the freezer stopped freezing, turned out to be a condenser fan. So Conk had a fan, so I changed it out. Now things are starting to freeze. Here we are. Gentle day on the water. One of the great things about the 450S is the helm position. We've got great visibility forward, blocked only a little bit by the bottom part of the sail. Other than that, we've got good visibility all around, and we got stairs people like to sit on and hang out. We're close to the cockpit so we can see everyone and when we have company, and even with 8 people on board it never feels crowded. The only drawback to this helm is the helm seat is a little too close to the wheel, so when someone's sitting there getting by, it's always a bit of a squeeze. And it's easy to single hand this boat. Everything is right here within arm's reach. Makes it nice. We have a bunny pad here. I've never actually used that, but our guests have, so that's nice. And there's Georgia with her beverage in the aft cockpit.
Yep, nice.
Water.
My Foxy water.
This is Pelican Island. At the very left there's a rock formation. It looks like a big seal. And
we're almost to Norman Island.
where are we coming from?
Portola Road Town. Off the dock.
So how many days did we spend at the dock?
3.
Was it fun?
No. This will be more fun. It was work.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah. And over there are the Indians. A good snorkel spot. We are at Norman Island and are secure on a ball. Time to go for a swim to shake out the kinks and inspect the bottom of the boat while I'm in the water. The temperature of the water is nearly perfect. There is no need to acclimate, and it just feels great.
How is it?
Like a bathtub.
Oh, that's perfect for me.
Yes. Floating away.
I know.
putty knife. We got barnacles on the bottom.
Where is it? You want me to get it?
I gotta remember where I put it.
Cabo had spent the hurricane season tied up in Paraquita Bay. Sitting idle is the worst possible scenario, as it becomes ideal for barnacle growth, and there are lots of barnacles on the bottom. Barnacles add a lot of friction when motoring or sailing, so we lose boat speed. I will spend the next couple of days getting in the water and scraping the barnacles off the bottom, out of the water intake grills, sail drives, and propellers. Come back next time as there are additional projects. I swim with the jellyfish. We take a dinghy ride on the south side of Norman Island to explore the bays and go for a hike to the top of Norman Island, which has spectacular views. And we have some quality time on the beach. We would like to invite you to subscribe, like, and leave a comment or question. Thanks for watching.